Hi everyone, I'm Nico. Um, Today I'm going to speak about my experience getting an app into the Google Play Store. Thank you Andrew and the Fyne community for getting me here. And yeah, so I get on with the slides. So a little bit more about me. I'm a software engineer. I have a little bit over 17 years of experience in the industry. I worked in large corporations, startups that became scale-ups, scale-ups that became unicorns, and starting a new job tomorrow, so not saying much about it. Cool. So I might ask a couple of questions. So I need you to raise hands. Sorry, the guys that are online, I cannot see you, but you can answer the questions on the live feed. And what this shows us is that this is an app that got released into the Google Play Store. And the app is a password manager. It's based on the Keepass password file format. I'm not sure if you use one of the Keepass apps or existing tools available. So basically it's a standalone single file that stores all your passwords encrypted. And yeah, basically the main motivation for writing this is because I had someone on my family that was using not fit for 2023, 2024 technology, pen and paper, let's say, and sometimes plain text cloud, not designed for these things. So you could argue that was even worse. And also helped me to learn a little bit more about Golang and UI development. Done pretty much a lot of backend development during my experience, and only a little bit on UIs. So that helped me a lot. Going to proceed, and if you have any questions about that, you can ask me at the end. The tech stack is quite lean. It's just Golang, the Fyne library, and one Keepass library is called Go Keepass library. It's not there because it doesn't have a shiny logo to put in, but it's core to the project. Cool. So a little bit of the walkthrough through the features. Basically, we have two buttons when we start the app. I'm not going to explain it too much on this one because I have a demo later on. But basically, we have to enter a master password after selecting the database file, and it will list all the secrets that we have there, and we can nest secrets within groups to organize them, so in a tree-like structure. So I'm going to show a little bit the app. The captures that you saw there were for the desktop version. The desktop version runs, but it's not about this talk. Cool, so this is the demo. I'm opening a file here. It wants me to enter the master password and enter it. Try not guessing it. So it opens a file. I'm going to edit a new secret there so that you see what's inside, and subsequently delete that entry. So now we are going to get inside the Golang directory. So there's a secret called GoLanguage. I'm going to add a new group there. It says to be deleted. We're going to get inside that group and create a new secret, which we are going to be deleting fairly soon as well. Go back to the Golang group and delete that secret. And then we're going to explore on the root level we're going to explore the GoLanguage secret inside Golang, editing a field and saving it, getting inside again just to see that what we edited remains there, getting inside the Fyne group, visualize the password using the icon, and now we're going to lock the database and open the file again, just to see that what we have done remains there, to prove a little bit of the consistency. If you got any questions, we can answer them at the end again. And that's it. Pretty much all that this app can do. We can create new files as well, but I haven't got that on the demo because the experience is pretty similar. So we have a big hairy Android guy here. So why Android? On 2023 there were apparently 3.3 billion Android devices out there. So I thought that if I put an app out there on the Android platform, I was going to get some users. And also is the brand of OS that we use at home. We don't have any other, so the choice was simple. So this timeline goes from December to May, but I started on this app on September last year, so it has a little bit over 1 year of development. But it's a one man band, so with not always the same amount of energy. So yeah, they got more attention over this span of time. My daughter was born in November last year, and I got the paternity leave. In Spain, we got long paternity leaves, fortunately, so it allowed me to get an app released on the Play Store. So, to get an app released on the Google Play Store, you need to go to a series of phases. There's one bit they call internal testing, what you can do pretty much everything. You can expose it to basically it's like a pre-agreed list of users that you need to load on the Play Store. And I loaded a bunch of my friends and family there. And that's what I done around January this year. But then Google wants you to do a phase of what they call closed testing, and basically it's in a similar fashion, but they require you to get the app installed for 2 weeks in a row, so 14 consecutive days, with at least 20 users without they uninstalling the app. So here is where it got a little bit complex to me. I'm not sure I met or I know 20 people, but I reached out to a couple of friends saying that I had this problem, which I are actually better with people than I do, and they quickly got me a lot of other friends that were willing to test the app. Here are a couple of questions I asked this while I was testing this. Half of that is in Spanish because most of my guinea pigs testers were Spanish speakers. So first of all, while I was on the internal facing stage, I noticed that I had to explain people what a password manager was. Why would they be interested in such an app? So I kind of asked this question to see what I was dealing with. Most of them answered that they understood the purpose. You always get one of threes. You think that also I got 20 users and only 10 of them replied to my survey. So you think friends and family will always come back to you. Hope yours are better than mine. So how useful was this app? Again, 10 responses, one puts one. So you think they are not going to be honest with you because they are from family, but no, they are. And how happy they were with the current state of the app. But back then the app couldn't create new files and it couldn't edit secrets, it was all read-only. And most of them were happy. But then I asked another question. what were the key missing features of this app, and basically all things that I probably knew back then, but it's nice that they reassured me. So they wanted to edit the files, so they wanted to edit the secrets that were in there, not just see what they had. They wanted to create a new file. They say something about the UI needing a refresh. I'm not sure if it was something about the version of Fyne that I was using at the time, but it looked a little bit blurry on Android. It seems to look better now. And the last one says there in Spanish that I wasn't charging and that I should charge for the app. Yeah, it's not the Spirit, it's an open source one and not planning to make money with this. So cool. So I made all the suggestions that they came back on the phone. So I added creating new files, editing files, editing secrets, all the things that the users told me, and I applied for production access to in the Google developer screen that you have for the Play Store. So you see that just pressing a button, but oops, in between getting this in the Play Store, I asked another question, so in a second form, if they considered this was ready. This was very handy because Google kind of asks you these questions, and they didn't ask me, but it would have helped me with evidence if they asked for it. So I got 11 responses, one more, yay. And they all say yes, that this app was ready for the Google Play Store. Nice. So since I applied for Prod on March, it took me 1 month to get access. I couldn't figure out why, but I started sending emails to all the support emails and channels I found online until Google finally came back quickly to the last one I sent, and they granted me access. So it was lost on the limbo of Google for a while. So the morale there is that don't leave things there because some humans somehow need to interact. And a little bit after that, cleaning up the code a little bit more, I get it released on the Play Store. Cool. So it says this slide the challenges of working on a non-native approach. Actually, the Fyne apps are native in the Android operating system, but what I meant is that I wasn't using the official tools for developing or writing an app on Android, and that has some consequence on the user experience. So the Fyne framework is designed to look the same in many platforms, but that means that it's not actually using the native components. So some users got a little bit confused by it. Then there's a major feature that this app lacks, which is integrating with the autocomplete integration of the operating system in all the operating systems, but in particular in Android. It requires interacting with a couple of services, and I don't really know how to achieve that yet, but I think for this kind of application it's important. It's actually the main blocker, I would say, to say if I were to put money on the Play Store to get users, I would probably want to get that feature because otherwise I will be burning money. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say about this. That was previously before Fyne 2.5 that I couldn't get the localization easily done because what you want is that you install this app on your phone and it detects your system language and it presents on the language that is on the system. But actually a few days ago or a couple of weeks ago I upgraded to Fyne 2.5, and if you have the phone in Spanish, because it's the only translation I made, you'll get the app in Spanish. So if you want to contribute with another language like German, please, it's quite easy. Cool, so future works. I had a lot more icons for this slide on a previous presentation, but I realized that it's easier to focus on one thing at a time. So the next thing that I'm going to tackle, I think, is a desktop app, especially for Linux, distributed as a Flatpak, because there's some nice documentation, some videos on Fyne on how to do it. And I think it's getting more or less like a standard on how to distribute apps on Linux. So I think it's a nice one to go. I'd love to get it on the App Store, but I'm not feeling like putting money on that yet. And maybe Windows Store in the future, but one at a time. I kind of want to build the core features first. But this one is one interesting that I thought coming up, and I wanted to get a little bit of the feedback from you later on what you think. Right, in the meantime, since we have an audience, I like to probe a little bit. So how many of you have done at least 5 apps or more using Fyne? Raise your hand. So just Andy and Simon. Cool. Okay, so it's around 10% of the audience. How many of you have done 2 or more apps using Fyne? Okay, so getting closer to 30% of the audience or something like that. How many of you have just done 1 app with Fyne? Okay. And how many of you have done or written no apps, 0 apps in Fyne? 1. Okay. So we have a varied audience. How many of you actually released something on the Android, on the Google Play Store? Cool. So 2. Nice. So less than 10% of the audience. That gives me some feedback. I like to see the comments if the remote audience can type. Not sure. So a little bit of the achievements I got from this side project over this time. So the app got listed in the Fyne.io, which is I'm very proud of that. In the Google Play section, you can see mine and that live, which looks very nice on the slide. Then I started a Golan community on my city. So I currently live on Seville. It's the 3rd country I lived, Spain, originally from Argentina. Lived in the UK and London, and then moved to Spain. Cool. So I also got in contact with a place where they accelerate startups and also do some co-working, but they lend the space for communities, so I kind of get a room not as nice as this one, but similar space, so to do talks in the community, which is quite handy. Otherwise it was just bars. And yeah, I got a comment from the CEO at Fyne Labs saying that this app is useful, so it has a meaning in this world, which is quite proud, and got accepted to talk at this conference. So yep, a lot for a side project. I'm quite proud about it. Cool. So what I want from you, what I flew all the way to Berlin for this talk, is that you can give me a hand to keep this running and essentially expand it to get some users actually using it. Got a couple of very faithful, loyal users that where the app without auto-completing is fine for them. But I'd like to get the features written, developed, and essentially need help. Cool. So if you want to contribute, there's a lot of work on my end to um, write down what I think the roadmap should be and how you could contribute. But essentially, if you have any PRs to contribute or simply raise bugs, because I keep finding bugs by myself accidentally, but it will be nice that someone uses it and reports to me the bugs. And yeah, so if you wanna connect with me, there's a QR code there that takes you to my LinkedIn profile. It's the only thing that I have the energy to use these days. And there's a repo on GitHub. Thank you all.